the following week, all of them were returned. It is very ignorant to think that you're going to have products that are not going to be returned. I don't know how much I can emphasize this, but it has changed my Takealot business. It will save you a lot of headache. If you're a Takealot seller, you know return can be one of the most frustrating parts of the business. And if not handled carefully, it can even lead you to closing your business, especially when you have a high return rate. But you will agree with me that it is part of e-commerce, and this is one of the main reasons why Takealot will always remain in business. Their return policy enables them to have a huge customer base, because customers know that if they don't like a product, they can always return, and that gives them guarantee, and that makes them continue shopping on Takealot. So we benefit from the return policy, although on the bad side it really affects us. But anyway, I will share with you 6 tips that I have personally used, and they have helped me maneuver my return on Takealot. So let's get into it. When you're listing your product, you're required to provide a warranty. This protects the customer, and they are allowed to return the product for any reason within a period of 6 months at least. Actually, some of the warranty can be a lifetime. It is for these reasons that a customer can actually return a product even after using it, as long as it is within the warranty period. Some of the reasons why customer return products are very reasonable, and some of them, they're not really very good reasons. At times they will just change their mind. At times they will use a product and then return it and say that it is defective, yet they're the ones who used it. But anyway, this is part of the business. I'm going to give you 6 tips that can help you handle this whole thing. So let's get into it. Tip number 1, repackage and send back your products. Disclaimer, not all products can use this tip. When you receive your return, just check through all of them and see those that are in a sellable condition, and then you can return back to Takealot. However, you must ensure that you're returning them in a condition that can allow them to be sold. Here is a trick that I always use. When I am buying my products, because I buy them from China, I always tell my supplier to add me an extra box, such that in cases like this, I can use this new box to ship the product back to Takealot. However, please note that not all category can use this trick, because some categories like innerwears, you're not allowed, and actually it is not hygiene for you to return a product. But in some categories where the reason for the return, for example, was the product was too small, say if you're selling earphones, so the product was too small or something like that, as long as it is not defective, if the reason for the return was just a reason that can allow another person to take it, then just return it. And to be honest, Takealot are always considerate of that, and they don't have a problem as long as the product is in good condition. So here's the thing, ensure that you go through your product, testing them and checking which one can be sent back to Takealot. Tip number 2, you don't have to send all your products to Takealot back to Takealot. Sell on Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, I think Facebook Marketplace is one of the most underrated platforms, because I have sold on Facebook Marketplace and the sales there are massive. So what you can do is that you can just reduce the price and just sell at an affordable price, but at the same time, you're able to factor in all your costs and you can make a profit. And when I sell on Facebook Marketplace, because you're not paying Takealot anything, or you're not paying any commission to anyone, you're likely to even make more profit than you're selling when selling on Takealot. However, I must put a disclaimer to this. It is a lot of work, and you might be required to respond to a lot of messages. And do you know what the messages are? Is this still available? And then someone will disappear. Is this still available? Someone will disappear. So it might really require you to have a lot of time. So the way you can handle this is also inserting a link either to your website or to your WhatsApp, such that people will come to your WhatsApp, not necessarily on Facebook. Serious people will come to your WhatsApp or to your website if you have one. But generally, selling on Facebook Marketplace is a very good option. Tip number 3, always put a provision for return. It is very ignorant to think that you're going to have products that are not going to be returned. I honestly don't know whether there is any seller on Takealot who has not received any return. My first 3 products were actually returned. Like, I made the first 3 sales on Takealot, and the following week, all of them were returned. So I believe that so many people will always receive return. It is prudent for you to consider that and put a provision when you're doing your costing, such that in your prices you have considered that cost that you will incur with returns. In my case, I put 10% as my return cost, and to be honest, that is not always the case in some categories. Some categories, it can be lower than that. Others, it can be higher than that. So you must know your category. Like, I know with clothing category, the return rate is quite high. So maybe 10% might be on the lower side. So what you do is, in your category, just identify and see, this is the rate at which I'm receiving my return. And so what should I do? Let me put at this percentage. So what you will do when you're in your pricing, always increase your prices by that percentage. So if you're going to sell something for 200 pula, increase 10%, put 220, knowing that the 20 is part of the cost, which is return. So don't be ignorant and don't assume that you will not receive any return. Tip number 4, discontinue high return products. I have done this. Honestly, most of my products that I started with, I'm no longer selling them. I know this is a tough pill to swallow, but to be honest, it can save you a lot of headache. I know the thing of knowing that you have made 20,000 sales and all of a sudden on Wednesday when they're supposed to send you the money, then they deduct a whole 3,000. Like, that doesn't feel nice. So just discontinue some of the products that you feel are high return products. Takealot also has a policy to discontinue a high return product, so you can just do it by yourself before Takealot do that. Yeah. Tip number 5, ask for a replacement from your suppliers. Have a very good relationship with your suppliers to a point that they understand you're selling on Takealot and you can get a replacement. I have had this done so many times. Yeah, like there was a time I received a return for almost all my products, and I contacted the supplier and they agreed to replace for me, and they are actually in China. So yes, even suppliers in China are very reasonable. So even your local suppliers in South Africa, you can always ask them if they can accept a return, or how you guys can, do the deal and allow you to negotiate for maybe a better price, or get a replacement, or get a discount, or something like that. As long as you can prove to your supplier that this is actually a return, I want to believe if you've had a very good relationship with them, they will accept. And again, don't fear your suppliers. Actually, you can start with negotiating at the point of you starting the business with them. When you create that rapport, your supplier will be able to understand your business. And even when you get returns, you can easily tell them, and I believe they will not have a problem with that. And tip number 6, which is the last tip, sell high quality products. I don't know how much I can emphasize this, but it has changed my Takealot business. When I first started, I honestly started with low ticket products and low quality products. Of course, because I was starting and I didn't even know where to start. And I believe that is the case with many people who are starting. Say, for example, a product going for $20 on Alibaba, and maybe your landed cost is about 600. When you sell such a product for 1,000, customers will appreciate and they will consider a high selling product as a high quality product. Unlike products going for 200, 100 rand, they will buy, but it is associated with low quality. So if you can sell high ticket products that are high quality, you can easily you can help yourself. You can save yourself the headache. This has worked for me. And nowadays, I'm not even so much worried about returns. Of course, the returns are still there for some reasons, which are at times not in my power to help. But I have seen this one work for me. I think this is overall the main reason why right now I'm not receiving a lot of return. So if you can manage to get high quality products that are even selling higher, then please go for it. It will save you a lot of headache. So yeah, those are the 6 tips that I have personally used, and I know they work. I know they can help you in your business. So if you found this video helpful, please share with other people, and thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.